Hey everybody and welcome! So today is going to be a short video, but it's going to be quite an exciting one for me. Like, I literally only need to say 3 words, but I have composed a script as to how to say them. So if any of you follow me on Bookstagram, which if you're not doing that yet, why? Link down below. But for those of you who saw my stories yesterday, I posted this photo, okay? Yeah. And yes, it is true, I participated in NANOWRIMO, National Novel Writing Month, and I won. I beat it. It's unreal. Like, I don't... there are no words. There are literally no words. I have no words. I can't think of anything. I don't know how to describe the feeling. Like, it was just so overwhelming, and it just felt so real. Like, when I finished it, when I finished writing my novel, when I finished writing my book, which I still can't wrap my head around, I was shaking. Like, I didn't even feel proud. I felt scared for some reason. I don't know. I mean, I just didn't know how to react. But yes, it's true. Ladies and gentlemen, the draft of my first novel, my debut book, if it ever sees the light of day, exists. It's real. It's fucking real. I don't know what else to say, okay? I sometimes ask myself how I was able to do it, and the answer I've come up with is that I went through some struggles at the beginning of 2020, at the beginning of the pandemic. I kind of hit rock bottom. I do recognize that I do have certain privileges that help me from not completely falling apart. But I'm also of the belief that just because your struggle isn't as bad as somebody else's doesn't make it any less valid, you know? Yeah, I mean, just to be more open, I lost my job at the beginning of the pandemic. I essentially lost my social life. Cinemas are still closed where I am, pretty much, and I haven't been to the movies in so long. And the cinema was basically my safe place, the place that I was happiest in the world, and the fact that I wasn't able to be in one for almost 2 years and counting just made me so depressed. And so what did I do to cope? If you've seen my Reading Disturbing Book series, you will know that in order to cope with the darkness of life and sadness, I read disturbing, fucked up shit. So since I was doing real badly, I took it a step further and wrote my own piece of disturbing, fucked up shit, and now it exists. So I didn't really plan this video, but what I did do to leave you with some information other than, you know, just a boring announcement video where I announce one thing and bitch about my life, I came up with a couple of questions that I'm pretty sure some people might ask just to pad the runtime of this video and get more hours and get more watch hours out of you lovely people, because you're totally gonna watch the whole thing because you love me and because you're kind. Okay, so I came up with a bunch of questions that I suspected you would ask, and then a bunch of questions that were asked of me when I announced it on Bookstagram yesterday, and I'm gonna answer them for you right now. So some people asked me how many words this book was, and for NaNoWriMo, we were supposed to write 50,000 words. This book is 68,000 words, so there's that. And this is just a first draft. I did rush some of the scenes, so I do anticipate this getting longer. But as it stands now, this novel is the same size as an average one you would see in a bookstore. So that makes me happy. So how long did it take me to write this thing? It took me a month, exactly 1 month. And I did this for NaNoWriMo, and honestly, the thing that helped me out the most was watching other people's NaNoWriMo vlogs, because I don't have any writer friends that I know of. So I searched for NaNoWriMo writing sprints, and I would stalk, like I would lurk, but I wouldn't participate because I was very shy. And because I have this thing where I don't like announcing things before they're finished, so I literally told no one that I was working on this. The only time other people outside of myself found out about this project was when I had finished it, the day after and the day I finished it, and then when I made it public on my Bookstagram. But before that, nobody knew that I intended on writing a book. Nobody knew that I had plans. It was completely under wraps, And the reason being is because I have the tendency to announce things and not follow through. A couple of months ago, I said that I was going to make a list of books that made me cry. I have the stack over here. I just never filmed a video, even though I told everybody I was going to. And then a couple weeks ago, I announced on my Instagram stories that I was gonna do a reading vlog for A Little Life. Guess what? Haven't read the book. And then I promised a drunk review on The Love Hypothesis. Guess what? Haven't read the book. That's a thing with me. When I say I'm gonna do something, I don't do it, which is why I have to wait until after I do it to promise, to ensure that I don't make a fucking fool of myself. That's why I didn't tell anyone, okay? So I wasn't intending on participating in NaNoWRIMO last month, but the thing that made me do so was, I don't know, I mean, I was just watching past vlogs of people from NaNoWRIMO, and it just looked so fun just watching them struggle but then succeed at the end, and I was just like, I want to do that too though. So I shit you not, in the last 3 days of October, that's when I did the outline. I completely skipped Camp NaNoWRIMO. I completely skipped Preptober. For those of you who don't know, I believe Preptober is the month before NaNoWRIMO, where you come up with the outline, come up with the characters, come up with the things that you're actually gonna write about, come up with the research, you know, all the things that are gonna substantiate your novel, unless you're a pantser. But even pantsers, I believe, need to have a certain knowledge of research and shit like that. I don't know. I'm a beginner. So yeah, I did the outline in like the final 2-3 days of October, pulled it out of my ass. Yeah, and here is some trivia that I suppose I can share now. This is my 3rd attempt at writing a book. The first time I tried to do so was at the beginning of 2020. I intended on trying this literary fiction because I thought that I had important things to say and that I was profound. But I shit you not, I gave up not even the first chapter, I gave up after the prologue because it was like pulling teeth. Writing something that you think you should write, but aren't actually interested in, is like pulling teeth. So I scrapped that. For now, who knows, maybe some passions will rekindle in the future and I might pick it up at a later date. Never say never. And then the second one I tried to do was at the beginning of this year, and it was this sort of sci-fi dystopia. It doesn't exist, it's not a book, but it's something I worked on for 6 months. And by the time I got that late into the process, the story was just completely incoherent. And the reason why, just to backtrack a little, I watched some interviews of authors, and this author, Anne Rice, was talking about how the ideal time to write a book is under 3 months, because anything above that you will get distracted by other stories, especially if you're a voracious reader like I am. And you're gonna doubt yourself, and you're gonna doubt the original idea, and you're not gonna be in the same headspace that you were in when you came up with the original idea. So 6 months was just much too much. I had to scrap that for now. I still have what I worked on, but I don't know what I'm gonna do with that. So I scrapped that. This time I was like, okay, I'm gonna hunker down this November. I'm not gonna read any other books. I'm gonna focus exclusively on this. I'm gonna get this shit done, and that's what happened. I only read 5 books last month. I did my best to not have any other stories besides the one I wanted to tell in my head. So that's how that went. And it really, really helped. Like, I stayed very true to the vision I came up with at the beginning of the month. Like, I never got sidetracked. The only time I wanted to add something new was at the very end of the process, like on the last week, on the last few days. But then I wrote that idea down somewhere else, I put it away, and at a later date I will see if it still needs to be included or if this story is good the way it is. When I was doing research on the editing process, I came across so much conflicting advice There were some people saying wait a couple of weeks. There were some people saying wait 9 months. So I just came up with a medium average and decided that I would wait either 2 to 3 months. It really depends. Also, some of you might be wondering what song best represents this book. When I was watching the Q&A of Christine, Poland Bananas Books, she was talking about songs that represented her first book. So if I could pick a song to represent it, it would be People Equal Shit by Slipknot, because they do. Anyway, so some other questions I was asked was, is the main character a self-insert? No, the main character is absolutely not a self-insert. The life this main character leads is one that is so wild. Honestly, I cannot imagine doing anything that this person does, because I am very boring. So I'm sure the big question is, what's the book about? What is the plot? I'm sorry, but I need to apologize because that's not information that I am comfortable disclosing at this point. I will, however, give you some vibes. So this book is essentially, get ready. It's essentially Aristotle and Dante discover the secrets of the universe meets I spit on your grave. Okay? If you think you can handle that, or if you honestly enjoy the same books I enjoy, I think this would be your thing, okay? Especially the reading most disturbing books, reading blogs. If those did it for you, yeah, hopefully, fingers crossed. It's an uphill battle. It's gonna be a lot. I'm gonna need a lot of time to work on this, and hopefully one day it comes out. I'm gonna go now. I need a shower. Have a lovely weekend / week / whenever this goes up. Yeah. Bye. I lose myself